Hello and welcome to another week of our European Football Power Rankings. This week we've got a couple of new entries, of course, a few players dropping down and a few players climbing up the table with a new person at the number one spot. So make sure you stick around for that as we cover all of the best players in European football this week. In at number 10 and dropping down one place is Sevilla striker André Silva. He's the only player in this list actually who didn't play in the Champions League this week. However, his goal against Eibar at the weekend took him to a total of 7 in La Liga this season, which is pretty good for someone who had a pretty torrid time at AC Milan last year. For this reason and his fantastic current form, he keeps his spot in the top 10, but only just. In at number 9 we have a new entry, and it's Napoli's match winner from the Liverpool match, Lorenzo Insigne. The 27-year-old is a pretty fantastic player and has been consistently great for Napoli over the last few years. It's kind of an odd thing that no one's actually come in and bid for him. Maybe they have, but they just haven't met the valuation. Anyway, as is with most Napoli players, they're often fiercely loyal to the club, so you can expect Insigne to be donning the light blue for the next few years and to continue to get to the top of the footballing charts. Next in at number 8 is another new entry, again with Mauro Icardi. After banging in the winner for Inter Milan against PSV on Wednesday night, he's now taken his tally to 110 goals in 189 games for Inter Milan. Still, he's been omitted from the Argentina squad. I don't really understand how this happens. Higuain isn't really on form, Messi seems to be hated by the country, and to be fair, Sergio Agüero is still pretty good. However, with just 25 years on the clock, it looks like Icardi will be the future of the Argentinian frontline and takes his spot at number 8 in this list. Next up at number 7, and we continue the theme of new entries, and it's Dortmund's English wonder kid, Jadon Sancho. Many eyebrows were raised when he moved to Dortmund for 7 million last year. However, after a year of learning in Germany, he's now burst into the first team squad with an incredible 7 assists already this season. He was touted to be called up for an England under-21 cap. However, with the UEFA Nations League just around the corner, he might as well get a call up to the first team squad, given Gareth Southgate's tendency to offer young players a chance. As for the future of English football, well, it looks pretty bright if players like him can go out and get proper first team experience in some of the biggest competitions in the world, rather than playing in the UEFA Youth League or the reserves for Man City. In at number 6, and yes, you've already guessed it, it's another new entry. It's the Bosnian diamond Edin Džeko. Along with Paulo, Dybala and Neymar, Džeko also scored a hat-trick in the Champions League as Roma put Viktoria Pilsen to the sword with a crushing 5-0 victory. He's the kind of guy that I never understood made it at an even bigger club. When he was at Manchester City, he always came off the bench and scored, but was never deemed good enough for a starting position. Personally, I'd love to see him back in the Premier League or even doing the business for someone like Real Madrid. As for now, he stays at number 6 in our chart. And now entering the top 5, where as we get to the number 1 spot, you'll see that another player, deservedly so, has bagged a hat-trick. However, at number 5, we stick with the hat-trick hero for Juventus, and that is Paulo Dybala. With Cristiano Ronaldo suspended and watching from the sidelines, Dybala took the reins and banged in a hat-trick, which saw him fully immerse himself in the debate about who really is the best striker in Europe. Of course, his compatriots Sergio Agüero and Lionel Messi are up there, but with youth on his side, Dybala alongside Icardi could be the future if Argentina get back to the top of the international game. In at number 4, and it seems to be yet another Argentinian on this list, it's Sergio Agüero. He scored a banging goal against Brighton at the weekend, he scored the equaliser against Hoffenheim in their victory in the Champions League, and he's just an all-round top striker. His goal-scoring tally now stands at 8 and 10 this season, and after knee surgery at the back end of last year, he's looking fitter than ever. I'm sure if he bangs in a few more against Liverpool at the weekend, City fans will be absolutely delighted. And now we enter the top 3, where in the third position is last week's number 1, it's Eden Hazard. After scoring that majestic solo goal against Liverpool in the League Cup, he then scored another one against Liverpool in the league over the weekend. However, with his team out of Champions League action, can he really challenge for the big trophy such as the Ballon d'Or? For a player who's never scored more than 16 goals in a season, as he's got 6 already, he's definitely on track to beat that. However, if he keeps this kind of form up, there's no doubt that the likes of Real Madrid will be sniffing around his signature come January. In at number 2 is last week's number 3, and to be honest, he's someone who you're going to see a lot of on this list this season. It's Lionel Messi. As Spurs fans left the ground last night, they would have been upset that their team lost. However, they will no doubt be left in a sense of wonder at just how majestic Lionel Messi can be. He was instrumental in his side's victory over Spurs, scoring 2 goals and being a downright menace in what was a pretty terrible pitch. As for Barcelona's rather underwhelming start to the season, well, it hasn't actually affected them that much as no one's really hit the ground running, as La Liga is proving to be a rather competitive league this season than in recent years. And in at number 1, it's our hero from the Champions League with another hat-trick. Last week's number 4, it's Neymar. If he was to set about repairing his reputation after what was a rather embarrassing World Cup full of diving from Brazil, well, he's going the right way about it. He's now scored 10 goals in his opening 9 games for PSG, as they've set records in Ligue 1. As for the Champions League, well, he banged in a fantastic free kick to start the game off, and then later on scored an even better one to prove that he really is a man on a mission. So that's all from me for today. There are our European power rankings for the week. But do you agree with our top 10? Who would you take out? Who would you put in? And who is your number 1 for the week? Let me know in the comment section below. Smash the like button whilst you're down there. And until next time, I'll see you guys later.